This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition. We've got a kitchen AC today, and the complaint is that it's not cooling. They said it's hot. Today is February 27th. We're about to hit like 92-ish today. It's our first hot day of the year, and kitchen AC is not working. So when we walk up to the unit, you got to forgive the exhaust fan because it's right here. When we walk up to the unit, if you look right here, we've got a call for G and a call for occupied, but it's warm in the kitchen and we have no call for cooling. Can I see your phone real quick? Will you open it up? We connected to the Core app and we looked to see if there was any error messages. So if we look right here, we're in the Core app right now. If we go to active alerts, we have none, no active alarms, okay? So basically we only have a call for G. It's 78-degree return air, 80-degree discharge air, blowers on, damper positions at 16%, outdoor temperatures 90 degrees. It's already 90 degrees. So why is it that we don't have a call for cooling? Well, let's start at the connections right here. So we're going to check between R and C to make sure we have 24 volts. Okay, so the transformer, which is one of these two, is sending power downstairs. So now we need to check from C to G and prove that the thermostat is telling our blower to run, and it is, of which the VFD is at 60 hertz. Okay, so now check between C and Y1. We got nothing. Okay, at this point, that's a problem with the thermostat. The thermostat is not calling or something's happening. We have a good connection here. Sometimes it can be a bad connection, but I don't see any problems there. So we need to go down to the thermostat and figure out what's going on at the thermostat that's not calling for cooling up here. Just the damper cover, yeah. So we've completely lost sight of our zone sensor at the thermostat. Pull up a screenshot, it's reading nothing. It sees no zone sensor. So this particular unit, the zone sensor is dropped down into the ductwork. So we're gonna pull this panel off to be able to access the zone sensor and see what we can do. So it looks like we might run into a problem right here. Probably gotta pull these out. Let me see your drill. We'll pull these out, then you could probably undo that. Now you should be good to go. There we go. Now we can access the zone sensor. Just pull the whole cable up. Or is that a thermostat wire? Is it just dropped down in the duct, or is that that might be the actual thermostat wire? I think it's a thermostat wire. Oh, so the zone sensor, this guy, I wonder where the zone sensor is. I don't know where it is. It's interesting. I thought it was dropped down here. We're gonna have to go check. But it could be, let's see, let me see your flashlight. Oh geez, they have a attic return. I remember this now. Yeah, that's not right. So, yeah, this one, their attic fills up with grease. I forgot about this one. It's a mess. So that's the thermostat. So that's not the zone sensor. Let's see if we can find the zone sensor. It's somewhere else. Well, we found where the zone sensor should be. Someone took the zone sensor out and just left the wire sitting in the attic. So no wonder the thermostat's not reading temperature. That's baffles me. So someone took the entire zone sensor off it looks like they changed some ceiling tiles and someone just ripped it out and didn't bother letting us know. Apparently they got all the ceiling tiles replaced like 5 days ago, so they've been going out without a kitchen AC for over 5 days. Here's your sign, I guess. So we're gonna profile the unit and check everything else out to make sure it's nothing more than just a zone sensor. But we have, if I can get you guys to see here. Well, it's not gonna, for whatever reason, I hate these things because they don't show accurately, but I've now got a call for G, Y1, Y2, and OCP. I swear, oh, you know why? There you go. Now you can see it. So we have a full call and all 3 compressors are running, but we're still gonna profile everything just to check it out. Let's see if our condenser fan motors are all running. All the condenser fan motors are running. They're going in the right direction. Good airflow across the condensers. don't know what that is. Someone's blazing hot pickles for lunch. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna probe up on it and check everything out. This is what it's gonna take to probe up on this entire system to see everything at once. Now you don't necessarily have to do that, but I like it because it's for easier troubleshooting, just toggling between screens. Now, you can use multiple different apps. I happen to be using an app called Measure Quick. It's a free app you can get from the App Store. It works with Fieldpiece, Testo, almost works with every probe manufacturer almost. Or you can use the Fieldpiece app because these are the Fieldpiece JobLink probes. I really like the JobLink probes. If you're interested in picking them up, I get all this stuff, even these Appion Schrader depressors, high flow Schrader depressors, like all this stuff, I picked it up from TrueTechTools.com. If you pick anything up from there, consider using my offer code or affiliate code, big picture, one word, at checkout. If you put in big picture, I get a small commission from your order and you get a little discount on your order too, and that's all at TrueTechTools.com. I even have my Vito bag, but I don't think you can get that bag anymore. That's one of the OG Vito Tech XLs. That's probably like my second Vito bag from 15 years ago or something. I still have it. I use it for my probes. So we're gonna profile everything, get it all set up on the iPad, and then we'll come back when it's all on. Always want to double check that your filters are clean. They are nice and clean. Hard for you guys to tell, but yeah, and they were just changed 121. So they're about a month old-ish. And make sure your belt is nice and tight and you're moving good airflow. That's good. I like it. It's a little wobbly on the bottom. We'll check that, but I'm pretty confident we're fine. So we're moving air. We're going to close all these panels. All that information needs to be known before we probe up, because remember, airflow before charge. Got to be really thorough. Make sure you're checking each one as you turn it on to make sure the pressure probes are zeroed out, the temperature clamps are matching. Especially when you have this many, it's easy to get them confused. Now I write on them, but still it's a good thing to watch each one get turned on and make sure they're all zeroed out when you start them up. All right, we are probed up. We are on the vital screen. You can go through all sorts of measurements to see all sorts of things. This unit does not have liquid pressure ports, so our subcooling is going to be kind of skewed because it's using discharge pressure, and there's more than likely a pressure drop from discharge to liquid, but we don't know because I can't measure it. So, but judging by this, the expansion valve's doing its job maintaining superheat. The subcooling doesn't seem crazy. Vitals look fine. We can scroll over. Outdoor air temperatures almost 90 degrees. Discharge line seems good. Don't see any issues there. Okay, temp split does not seem horrendous. The airflow, that's a skewed number. Hang on. In order to see the true airflow, you got to go to the third stage. And then you see how it shows that it's good because it's looking at all three compressors now. Okay, so airflow seems fine. Temperature split seems fine. We're now on the third stage. Subcooling's a lot higher. Superheat still maintaining. Don't see any issue there. Okay, let's go to the second stage. 14 degrees subcooling. Okay, it is kind of strange how we have such a high third stage subcooling, but that could also mean that we just need to move our air probe. But everything else looks fine. Let's go to circuit 3 and let's look at delivered capacity. We're at 170,000 BTUs right now approximately, and normalized target is 165,000, so we seem to be pretty good on our delivered capacity. I'm not seeing any major problems with this guy. Okay, I don't like that the subcooling's a little bit higher on the third stage, but we can probably move our outside air temperature probe a little bit and that subcooling number will change. But I will say too that this circuit, the third stage, if I remember right, was overcharged from the factory. And I can't remember if we actually weighed it out or if we just pulled no, I think we pulled the whole refrigerant charge and weighed it in when we did the startup about 6 months ago or something. It was a while ago, it's hard to keep track. But that's something to keep an eye on, but it's not a red flag crazy for me as long as all the condenser fan motors are working. So we're gonna watch it for a bit, but this looks pretty darn good. So the third stage had an elevated head pressure because this door was sucked shut, only allowing air from the other side. Now that we closed it, our head pressure is slowly dropping. So it's gonna take some time, but that made a difference. And that's why I'm saying you gotta watch the airflow on these things. Sometimes you gotta move the air probes too. You know, sometimes it's a really easy service call. In this situation, someone was changing ceiling tiles and they ripped out the zone sensor. I will, however, say that thermostat is dumb in that it won't switch to the thermostat sensor on its own. Like in reality, that should be a feature that you should turn on. So that way, if you do lose a zone sensor, you don't lose a whole AC. Maybe it just starts reading from the thermostat and it gives you an error message, you know? Because they lost all cooling because they lost their zone sensor, even though the thermostat has the capability of using the onboard sensor. Now at this particular location, the thermostat is located in a bad spot. So it gets hit by a supply diffuser. So it would have been uncomfortable, but it wouldn't have been 85 degrees in the kitchen like it is right now. So it's kind of silly. Now, you know, do I start sounding alarms and raising red flags and calling out the other company that changed the ceiling tiles and broke the zone sensor? Nope, not my problem. I just state what happened in the invoice and let the customer deal with it on their end. That's not my issue to get involved in. I'm not pointing fingers saying he said, she said. I'm just gonna state the obvious. It had a bad zone sensor, it got ripped out, and that's all that I'm gonna say. Now, if they start saying, well, how did it get ripped out? I'll just say it was right here and let them do the math, okay? Let them come to those conclusions. I don't want emails written that says, you know, Chris from JVS said this company caused this, but nope, not getting involved in that, okay? So I just state what I need in the invoice and let the customer deal with it from there. So we went through, did our due diligence, made sure the thermostat's good, made sure that the cooling's good on all 3 stages. Everything seems to be fine. They do have a set of PMs coming up next month here in about a week probably. I should be getting PMs for this location. So we'll go through and we'll be cleaning condensers. But this AC, actually, the condenser was just relatively clean, or it was cleaned fairly recently, essentially. I was struggling with adjectives right there. But yeah, so we got the customer up and running. They're gonna be stoked because the kitchen's no longer gonna be 85 degrees, and that's good because today we're supposed to push like 92 degrees here. It's interesting, this bipolar Southern California weather. Last week, it was 40 degrees and it was cold and we were doing heating calls, and today I'm doing air conditioning calls. Now next week, we have this rubber band weather right now. This happens every change of season. So next week, it's supposed to be in the 70s all week. And then it'll warm up again, and then it'll cool down again, and then it'll warm up. Usually by mid-April, early May, we'll hit some, you know, we'll be in consistent 80 to 90 degree weather until July, when we'll hit 100 plus degrees for the rest of the summer until October, basically. So that's just how SoCal works. It's just interesting. And I will say, we are owed an extremely ridiculously hot summer because last year we did not have it. Last year was a really mild season for our weather, and this year, you know, I mean, not that I want 115, 120 degree temperatures, but the odds of us getting away with another, you know, 90 degree summer is pretty slim to none. So I really appreciate you making it to the end. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Consider following me on my other social media platforms, HVACR videos on everything. Actually, it's not HVACR videos on everything. On Facebook, I have Chris Stevens and HVACR videos. Anyways, there's links in the show notes of the video. You can find me on all the platforms. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can check out TrueTechTools.com. I mentioned those job link probes that I got from there. I get my Vito bags from there, all that good stuff. If you go to TrueTechTools.com, like I mentioned before, use my affiliate code BIGPICTURE, get a nice discount, I get a small commission. You can also support the channel by watching the videos from beginning to end. That's the easiest way, without skipping through anything. Very easy way. You can also go to my website, hvacrvideos.com, where we have hats available. Last but not least, PayPal, Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of this video. And that's it. Questions, comments, things you want to talk to me about, put it in the YouTube comments. Shoot me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. I really appreciate you, and hope to catch you on the next one, okay?